Hello YouTube and welcome to Full Dottle, a channel dedicated to tamping topics such as pipes, tobacco, lore, and more. I am your host, the Bearded Briarman, and without further ado, let's get lit. Welcome back everyone, and on this episode of Full Dottle, I'm going to be doing a first impression of Cornell Diehl's Oak Alley. This is something that I've had for just a little while. They had a huge Cornell Diehl sale on smoking pipes a little while back, and I loaded up. I have got first impressions and full reviews for the rest of this year at least, and then some. So I'm excited to try a new one. It seems like it's been forever for me since I've actually opened a new tin. So let's get started and see what Tobacco Reviews says about this blend. On tobaccoreviews.com it says that Cornell Diehl Oak Alley Cellar Series, arguably the most famous of Louisiana's antebellum mansions, and certainly the most immediately recognizable. Oak Alley is a splendid namesake for this cellar-worthy new American standard. After establishing an impeccable partnership between sweet red Virginias and white brown Burleys, discrete amounts of Perique and Catarini Turkish are added to enhance both the flavor as well as promote the coolest smoke imaginable. It is, as I said, a VABur. It has the strength at medium, flavoring there is none detective. The taste is a medium to full, and the room note is pleasant. So, let's pop this open and see what we find. It is a crumble cake. You can, right off the bat on the tin note, I can catch the Orientals. They've got that musty, tangy quality. You also catch that sweetness from the white Burley and that cocoa note from the dark Burleys. It's got like a real deep molasses sweet smell to it. It smells very good. It's got that fermenting type sour note to it as well. Let me load this pipe up. As always, anytime I'm doing any type of first impressions, I smoke it out of my Tekken AKB Meerschaum. This is a tomato with lattice finish. Let me load this up and I'll be right back with you. All right, everyone, so I've got the pipe loaded up. So now, let's get lit. Okay, so right off the bat you get that sharpness from the dark Burleys, but it's not, I wouldn't say that it's not overpowering at all. It's not abundant. It's just, it's there. It's a middle ground between something like what the Old Joe Krantz has. In the Old Joe Krantz, the dark Burleys are just absolutely, they're forward. So that you're getting a lot of that sharpness. With this, they're there. You can get that woody, nutty flavor from the Burleys and that sharpness that they offer, but it's just a middle ground. It's not bad at all. The white Burleys are offering that sweetness, and they're accentuating the nutty, woody type flavors, but they're much more mellow. They come through almost like a cashew type sweetness. And they round out the dark burleys nicely. The Perique is offering a tannic, thicker mouthfeel, but I'm not catching, and they offer a lot of that peppery, not a lot, I would say they offer a moderate amount of that peppery spiciness. But I'm not catching that boggy fermented type flavor that the Perique offers, and especially in something that has a high quantity of Perique, you can almost catch that mint and licorice from it. Not catching that at all. I am catching just a little bit of the peppery spiciness from it, and it plays in with the sharpness from the dark burleys, but it's not bad at all, even on nasal retrohale. It's not very sharp and pungent at all. It's just offering just a hint of that peppery spiciness. And if anything, the spiciness from this blend is coming from those dark burleys. The Catarini Turkish Oriental is coming through floral. It's on the underside of this blend, and it's playing into the white burley just a little bit, and the dark burleys. It's creating almost like a charred hickory smoked bacon. I know that sounds unusual, but it's got this unique, well, if you read on Catarini Turkish Oriental, it is described as a curry-like flavor. I can see that, but to me it's coming through a little more like, it's a horrible word for it, but a little more salty, like a hickory smoked charred bacon. Yeah, it's got just an undertone of that charred bacon. It's unique. I think it's really good though. This is a really good blend. More robust and savory than I would have expected with something that has a good portion of white burleys in it. But I think it's really good. The Catarini Orientals are playing really well with the white burley. They're just not coming through as sweet as I would have expected. But it doesn't take away from the blend at all. It's just a surprise, I guess. Not bad at all. Let me smoke this to the halfway point, and I'll come right back with you with my final thoughts. Stick around, everybody. All right, everybody, so I smoked this down to the halfway point. Let me light back up, and I'll give you my final thoughts. If you hear Marcus over here chewing on his kibbles, that's because he's chewing on his kibbles. He has been napping all day. As of the taping of this episode, we have Hurricane Laura, I think it is, that has passed east of us. However, we're getting a little bit of that, outer layer of it, and so it's been kind of drizzly all day and real heavy overcast. And usually Marcus, he's becoming an old pup, and so he naps during days like this. It did sweeten up a bit. And the Orientals are presenting a lot more vividly after the halfway point. Now that's the white burley. The white burley is coming through a much more vivid after the halfway point, and the Orientals are right behind it. The dark burleys have calmed just a little bit. And I'm catching just a hint of that boggy wood from the Perique. Not much, but it is coming through now. I'm just not catching much from the red Virginias, either on sweetness or on their tangy and tart qualities. They, to me, that very unique mix between almost a mesquite barbecue and a charred bacon could be a result of how the tartness from the red Virginia is playing in with the Catarini Turkish Oriental. It's definitely at the first light, the dark burleys were coming through a lot more than what they are now. And it was a lot more nutty woodiness. Now it's transitioned into like almost like a roasted pistachio with undertones of a mix between mesquite barbecue and charred bacon. And that sweetness from all three of the differing leaves. You've got the red Virginia, the white burley, and the Catarini Turkish Oriental. We'll be seeing you, Marcus. Have fun. Aren't nearly as sweet as I would have imagined from just their normal flavor profile, but it is coming through. You can catch that sweetness from it. And it's more along the lines of that, like I've discussed before, that starch sweetness, like if you chew on a saltine cracker. Hey, buddy, long time no see. Like that starchy sweetness you get if you chew on a saltine cracker for very long. It'll transition from saltiness to sweetness. You better watch out, buddy. You're going to get some of this smoke. At any rate, I think this is a great blend. For any of you that like burleys, even if you're sensitive to that sharpness that burleys offer, this is going to be one of those you may enjoy, you may not enjoy, because it still has a little bit of that robustness, but it's very, very subdued compared to some of the more common burley blends. I think if you are a burley lover, this is a blend that I think you should try out. It is a moderate burley blend. I'm saying it's probably in the middle of like a, it's in the middle between Old Joe Krantz and not the sweetness from half and half, but how the burley presents in half and half is very mild. This is in between those. It's not a very mild burley, and it's not a very robust burley. It's just somewhere in the middle. So if you like a burley blend, I think this would be a great addition, or at least just try it out. The flavors in it transition nicely throughout the bowl. It offers quite a bit of complexity. So far, I think this is a great blend. I'm going to go ahead and finish this bowl down. I'll be back with you in 1 week to give you my full review. So that's going to do it for this episode of Full Dottle. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And until the next time we see each other, I bid you farewell and happy piping. Goodbye, everyone. Are you enlisted in the Full Dottle platoon yet? It's easy. Just click the subscribe button. Also, hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as I upload the next episode.